But first this week was a momentous one. This week we heard for the first time in a long time from the man who was the most powerful leader in the world, Joe Biden, made his first public speech since he left office in January. And folks, it was as awful as you'd expect, confirming again that this puppet president was never really in charge. You really think this guy was the commander-in-chief making decisions that reshaped America? He doesn't even know to wait for the music to stop before he starts speaking.
Thank you. So good to be here. Shotgun shack to the Superdome. Who deserve help and paid for.
Yes, he was just going to deliver his full speech with the music blaring, even though no one could hear him. They had to abruptly cut the music. And what a speech it was.
I remember pulling into the parking lot, and I had never seen hardly any black people in Scranton at the time and I was only going in the 4th grade. And I remember seeing the kids going by at the time called colored kids on a bus going by. It's about respect. It's about being able to look your kid in the eye and say, honey, it's going to be okay, and mean it. Well, that's what you're all about. That's what the legislation's about. It's about dignity. Simple dignity. Everyone deserves to be treated with dignity, regardless of their standing, regardless of the economic situation, regardless of who they are.
Yes, classic Biden, incoherent whispering to shouts of righteous anger. You know the thing. This was the puppet president who plunged America into dangerous culture wars, who didn't know what a woman was, who wanted children to be prescribed powerful puberty-blocking drugs, the man who allowed millions into the country illegally, 2 million a year under his disastrous presidency, the man who demoralised the working and middle class with Bidenomics, high inflation, crazy energy policies, and whose foreign policy was just incoherent, pathetically weak and expensive. The overwhelming majority of the media is back on their anti-Trump crusade, forgetting the role they played in propping up this puppet president, pretending his cognitive decline was some sort of right-wing disinformation tactic. But we remember, and no matter how hysterical the leftist media become in their coverage of Trump, Americans who voted for change have never been happier. Here is CNN.
I hear all these stories, all these articles. All the Trump voters, they regret what they did back in 2024. I'm here to tell you, very few of them regret what they did back in 2024. What are we talking about? Trump voters looking back at 2024, we got a new poll out. The poll was conducted this month. What percentage would change their vote to a different candidate? We're talking just 2%, just 2%. That's not even a wide spot on the road. And then there's this additional 1% who say they would rather not vote. We're talking overall under 5% might or would have changed their vote, Donald Trump voters back in 2024. The bottom line is, for all this talk of Trump voters regretting their vote, in the numbers, it really just doesn't show up.
There you go. Trump voters couldn't be happier because whether it's stopping illegal immigration, deporting criminals, imposing tariffs, or fighting back against the left's culture wars, Trump is doing precisely what he said he would. Now to the week's other momentous moment, and it involved some self-delighted narcissists in designer spacesuits floating around in space for 11 minutes and thinking they're Neil Armstrong.
And I have so much gratitude that we're able to do this. It's not about going to space. It's about what we bring back.
This journey really is about healing. It's just that my healing takes me to the stars.
Taking up space! Woo!
Dreams don't have deadlines.
She said, I'm going to stick my head out the window. These 6 taking up space as each one is ringing a bell.
Oprah watching her best friend go to space.
Welcome to space, ladies, or shall I say, astronauts.
Oh my goddess! 1, 2, 3, taking up space!
Tamir's in space.
Woo! Yes, they're the Perry, original Woohoo girls. Don't you dare not treat these rich and famous overprivileged ladies like they've, I don't know, achieved some wondrous feat. If you don't respect what they've just done, well, you may be a sexist.
Oh my goddess!
Whenever a man goes out, it was called a flight, it was called a journey. A ride implies that it's something frivolous. There was nothing frivolous about what we did.
Yes, it was frivolous, Gail, and the carry-on afterwards was even more absurd. We saw less carry-on from real astronauts that were rescued by SpaceX last month after more than 8 months stranded in space. Let's hear from a songstress and Kamala lover, Katy Perry.
This whole journey is not just about going to space. It's the training, it's the team. What you're doing is you're like really finding the love for yourself, because you got to trust in yourself on this journey. And then you're feeling the love when you come down, for sure. And you're feeling that strength. So I feel really connected to that strong, divine feminine right now.
The divine feminine. Yes, these ladies thought floating around with their hair and makeup perfectly done, woohooing on Laura Sanchez's boyfriend's spaceship was going to change the world. The delusion here is next level.
I hope they can see the unity that we modeled and replicate that, and understand that we weren't just taking up space, we were making space for the future. And for me, like Gail said, this wasn't a ride, it wasn't a destination, it was a journey, and it was a supernatural one.
Yes, these ladies weren't taking up space, they were making space. Caroline, do you feel empowered? Do you feel like you are just reborn as a woman?
You know, if this is what being a woman is, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, I want no part of it. I wish they had got stuck in space for 8 or more months.
I might just start identifying as whatever that is not. I don't know what it is. These women exemplify so much of what is wrong with the modern left, this celebrity left, overprivileged, hopelessly out of touch, self-delighted flogs, suffering from delusions of grandeur. And I'm going to end with a bit more of Katy Perry. The performative narcissism here is something to behold. It's almost impressive.
Katie!